What's up, fam? Welcome back to another episode of Speedaddixxgarage. On this episode, we have another project car to work on. It's not mine, it's actually a customer's car. This belongs to one of my best friends, and I don't know what to tell you about it. It's definitely, it's an old car. Okay, we going back to like the late 80s, early 90s. Okay, the car that we're gonna be working on, you ain't even probably even heard of this car. You know what I'm saying? It depends on how it depends on how thick your car enthusiast. How can I break this down? It depends on how much of a car enthusiast you are, or whether or not you ever seen this car before, whether or not you even know what it even is. But I'm gonna show you what we working on, what has arrived at Speedaddixxgarage, and just a little tidbit. The car is for sale. So if you like what you see, you know what I'm saying, you want to go back to your old roots and stuff, you want to go back into the day, this car is for sale. So if you want this car, hit me up in the comment below, reach out to me via email, or hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. But I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna show you what we're working with on this episode of Speedaddixxgarage. Check this out. We got this is a Dodge Omni. Okay, Dodge Omni. This is actually made from Chrysler, so it's a Chrysler Dodge combination. Got the period correct 356 wheels. I don't know if they're period correct, but it's got like a little JDM flair to it. As you can tell, it doesn't have a front bumper on it at the moment, but I think he's got something in store for that. The car used to have a rear bumper, but he removed it, shaved it, got a full custom exhaust. So this is rare, but this is actually a 5-door. So it's kind of like a hatchback with an extra 2 doors. Got this straight up JDM period correct mirror. Believe it or not, that's the only mirror on this car. Back in the day, you didn't need a mirror for the passenger side. Let's pop the hood, bro. This thing has a 2.2 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder from Chrysler. And man, let's just sit here and take a moment and to admire some of that late 80s technology. I mean, a lot of you can agree with me that a lot of some of the best cars came out of the 90s, but they didn't get to the 90s until they got to the 80s first, you heard? So check this mug out. We got the external coil. This mug still got a little distributor on it. Believe it or not, this motor came from a Dodge Daytona. I'll put a picture up here in case you don't know what that is. But this Omni motor, or this Dodge Daytona motor, not only is it 2.2, but he got a couple aftermarket goodies on it. We got an aftermarket fuel pressure regulator. Well, why you need that? Well, you need that because he's got a bigger upgraded turbo. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but that mug ain't small, all right? So a little bit about the Dodge Omni. Believe it or not, the Dodge Omni and something by the name of a Plymouth Horizon were basically the same car. This is a Chrysler Corporation type build. You know, to be honest with you, this is when Chrysler started dibbling and dabbling into the import stuff. The wheelbase is 99 inches. And how about the weight? You will not believe this. This thing weighs a whopping 2,100 pounds. So you know it ain't gonna take much to get this thing moving. And they made the Dodge Omni in between 1977 and up until 1990. And it also, Kyle said that this motor is actually built. It's not a stock motor. And what y'all know about that late 80s, early 90s interior? If you had a baller car back in the day, it had burgundy interior or navy blue. Check out the period correct speedometer. That mug got a maximum of 85 miles an hour. Climate control on the left side. Has a bunch of compartments, probably because this mug was sold for old ladies, you know what I'm saying? You got a compartment here, compartment there. You got a compartment here. Man, this joke, look at that. Even got the factory AM, FM radio. And you know something nice when they put your name on the interior. And might I add, This joker ain't even cracked. As old as this joker is, the dash ain't even cracked. Like shoot, my 240 got a cracked dash. Bruh. And I don't know about you, but I didn't know anything about a Dodge Omni until I watched the Dude in Blues video about it. I think in his video, the car was pretty fast. I remember he took it for a rip on the highway. I remember that he had mentioned that it was probably one of the scariest vehicles he has ever been in. And that was due to, I guess, the passenger side axle being extremely long, not to mention it's extremely skinny. And something with the combination of the long axle and the way I don't know, but all I know is that when he was in that video and he punched that joker, it pulled like 2 or 3 lanes to the left or the right. So in other words, it had a lot of torque steer. You could say that was based on power. I don't know, that might just be based on like some lack of geometry, you know. Chrysler ain't made, you know, basically you ain't never heard about anything good coming from Chrysler, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't saying, but I'm just saying. So let me move some cars around. We're gonna get this thing inside the garage and we're gonna show you what we're doing to the Dodge Omni on this episode of Speedaddixxgarage. We are fabricating a custom intercooler piping kit for the Omni. First things first, you gotta have an intercooler. So we're doing an in and out on the same side. So let's get a measurement of this. So if anybody wants to do this deal on the Omni, you'll know kind of what's gonna work. The core is 19.5, aka 19 and a half. Top of the tank to the bottom of the tank, roughly 11 and a quarter. And then we got 2.5 inch in and out as far as the intercooler in and out. Of course, anytime you have an intercooler, you need something to join everything together. So we got some miscellaneous random silicone couplings. These are all 2.5. A few of these are something like 2 inch. Like for example, that looks like it's 2 inch. That looks like it might be 2 inch. Most eBay style intercooler piping kits come with 2 U-bends. It comes with 2 straights, which the other straight is in the box. It comes with 2 90s, 2 45s, and then it comes with a tremendous amount of clamps. And then it also comes with a couple of straight couplings. I mean, it comes with enough clamps that if you got any friends that's doing something like this, that's using 2.5, you can get them out for free. And then of course, we need a blow-off valve. The brand of choice is Turbo Smart. There's the part number in case you need it. So this is the Turbo Smart. They call this one the V-Port Pro. To be honest with you, it looks like it's an adjustable blow-off valve. If you look on the top, it has harder and softer. So to make a long story short, when you have a blow-off valve on a car, when it's idling, you know, this is gonna have vacuum on it. And if this spring inside of here is too loose, the vacuum actually causes this valve to open. And if you got something like a mass airflow sensor or something like that, you know, this will be considered a boost leak at idle. So if I'm not mistaken, you probably want to tighten this up to the point that this is closed. And I can probably put money on it. The tighter this thing is, when it blows off, it'll probably change the sound a little bit. But this is the kind of blow-off valve that you would see maybe on like WRXs. You could tell from the base of this, this is something that would use a hose. Basically a hose would go on this. Inlet diameter. Inside, the inside is roughly, actually it don't even matter inside. The outside is roughly 1.5 inches. So that's 1.5 inch port. And then there's the V-band where you can disconnect this. We're not gonna use a hose to attach it to the intercooler pipe, and I'm actually gonna coat this, and it's gonna fit up on the intercooler piping with no gap. I'm gonna show you my idea on mounting that intercooler in that open space. So Kyle told me exactly where he wants the intercooler at. He wants it right here. And he wants to tuck it behind this section as close as possible because he says the front bumper's gonna run right across here. Actually, front bumper's gonna run right across here. So it needs to be as back as far as possible, and it needs to be as high as possible. So with my OCD, I need to take this measurement, figure out my center point, and I'm gonna line this up as best as I can with the center of this. So it took a little bit of work. I made my center point right here. line that up with my center point of the core of the intercooler, and I use some blocks of wood and like some thin wood to kind of shim it into place. Now we got to figure out a way to mount it. We are not using these because we don't think that that cosmetically looks good, so those are eventually gonna get cut off, but I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna use. I am gonna use some of this solid stock aluminum. It's actually 3/4 of an inch thick, and if you pay attention to most intercoolers, usually they have something that looks like that at the top and the bottom, usually 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and they're threaded. I'm basically gonna duplicate the same thing. I'm pretty sure if I searched online, I could find something and buy it and just weld it into place. But hey, on this channel, I get a lot of pleasure out of doing stuff from scratch, doing stuff by hand, doing stuff from the beginning to the end. So we're gonna give it a shot. And our attack plan is we're gonna put it here, and we're gonna put one right there. And make a long story short, we're gonna drill a hole through the top, and then we can thread the bolt into this piece that's gonna be threaded. I might go back and hit that again with 600, but that looks way better than it looked before, and at least it's uniform. So I decided to use a M8 by 1.25 thread pitch as far as the bolt goes. Because of that, I'm gonna need my tap, which I have here, and then the appropriate drill bit is a 1964. Yeah, that is the final product of mounting the intercooler. So next, we can work on the cold side, the hot side. So what I'm thinking, overview, throttle body, come around, goes to the top port of the intercooler, and then the bottom port is gonna snake up over the transmission, and then it needs to fit down there. The outlet of the turbo and the inlet of the intercooler are both different sizes. So to start with, we're using this reduced coupler. When we install it, a Musa is gonna be non-visible. So let's start with that. So from the throttle body to the intercooler, that's what the upper pipe looks like. We'll probably put the blow off valve either on this side or that side, but now we're gonna work on the hot side, coming from the outlet of the turbo to that lower pipe. Overall, I'm satisfied. It doesn't touch that coolant line there. It does not touch the head on the inside. It looks symmetrical, as you can tell. It also looks symmetrical from the top. I mean, if you look at it at a certain point, you can't even see the bottom pipe. Now, the last thing we need to do is we need to make the intake. He wants the intake to come out this direction and the pod filter to sit in this kind of general area. We don't have the filter, but I have a filter, so I think I use that as mock-up purposes. And then I think I may trim this 90-degree coupler down. It's kind of hard to get this pipe in, so I got two options. I could either trim this coupler down or I could trim the pipe down. And if you can tell, this hose coupling goes right here in the inside of the bin, so I'm gonna cut this down a little bit. So I went ahead and welded the blow-off valve flange to the intercooler piping after I coated it for 2.5 inches. Last thing we do, we need to drill that out. I'm gonna use a hole saw 1 5/16. It's just about perfect. And then we'll clean the rest of it off with an aluminum carbide bit and a flat wheel. Why, yeah, look at that, why, that mud look good. And you know me, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure that daggone Turbo Smart is turned the right way. So the only thing this thing is missing is a vacuum line, and that's gonna go from here to somewhere on the intake plenum. Probably not that port because that is on the throttle body, but we need to go on a port somewhere on here. He has a vacuum block right here. I'm pretty sure one of these lines, matter of fact, we might have a line right here. There you go. All that joker need right there's a little baby zip tie and we good to go. So Kyle and his dad brought over the last piece of the puzzle. This is a 2.5 inch K&N intake, and I've already got these two pipes cleaned. I got my two markers for orientation. So let's go ahead and weld this up and show you the final product. Wow, check out the final product. Yo, I don't know what to say other than if you got one of these cars and you want a turbo kit, hit your boy up. This joke right here came out super tasteful. Comment below what you think. Before we close this video out, I went ahead and welded a piece of flat stock. I just made one bend in it, welded it on the back side, drilled and put a rib nut on the back side of this bracket. That way, all of this will be sturdy. So if you like that content, hit the subscribe button, comment below, If you're in the Raleigh, Durham Triangle area, North Kakalaki, aka North Carolina, hit your boy up. This is the kind of work that I provide, and in the meantime, I'll see you on the next video. Going on the first test drive, and Cal told me to bring this. Gotta adjust the fuel pressure. It's like right around like 55.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
it's good?
Yeah.
You want me to watch it or?
Yeah, you watch it.
It's set up at 15 pounds of boost. Maybe it's climbing. I think I saw it reaching 16, but you good with that?
Yeah. I blew up the last turbo at like 25 pounds.
Yeah, it's pretty strong where it's at. 25 pounds. So he want me to turn up the boost. 2 clicks. All right, he said 2 clicks. 1, 2. Uh-oh, we turned up the boost. I'm looking at it. Oh, snap! Oh! This little junk is strong! Yeah,
I told you when you got it done, like I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sell it, because I just remember the times that I did have it running. Like I just loved it.
Hey, do y'all think he should keep this car or sell it? And if you think he should sell it, then that means you're interested in buying it. So comment below. But overall, what you do?
It's done. Well, I gotta get some trim and bumpers and stuff like that. I got a guy in Charlotte supposed to sell me a ground effects kit.
Stop playing.
Yeah. So I gotta hit him up and do a little cut and buff on the paint, clean it up real good, and just be a 1-2 day a week or a daily driver and cars and coffee sort of deal, and just take the family out, have a good time. Yeah,
that'd be fun. You and Ian and the boys.
Yeah.
Hey, we about to load this thing up because I don't know if y'all saw that flash in the background, but it's about to rain real bad. See you on the next episode.